Imagine looking up and seeing the moon twice its normal size. This is not a beautiful cosmic event. It is our end. If the moon suddenly started falling, you would notice very quickly. First, our satellite network would be completely destroyed in mere days. Your internet, GPS, and cell phones would simply stop working forever. Then, the tides would begin to rise to absolutely terrifying levels. Coastal cities worldwide would be entirely submerged under giant ocean waves. Global shipping and trade would instantly collapse, causing immediate food shortages. Millions of people would be forced to flee inland for survival, but the rising oceans are just the beginning of our nightmare. As the moon gets closer, its gravity pulls on Earth's crust. Massive global earthquakes would shatter entire continents and destroy major infrastructure. Dormant volcanoes would suddenly erupt, filling the atmosphere with toxic ash. The sky would turn a permanent, dark shade of volcanic gray. Temperatures would plummet globally as sunlight is blocked by thick smoke. Agricultural systems would fail completely, leaving the survivors with no food. Now, the moon is only a few thousand kilometers away from us. Its massive gravitational pull starts shifting the actual rotation of Earth. Days and nights become erratic, further confusing any remaining plant life. You would literally feel lighter as lunar gravity pulls you upward. Loose rocks and boulders would start floating into the dark sky. The atmosphere itself would begin to be siphoned into open space. Breathing would become increasingly difficult for anyone still alive down here. At this point, survival on the surface is absolutely statistically impossible. Only those hidden deep in underground bunkers might stand a chance. But the most spectacular and terrifying phase is just about to begin. The moon reaches the Roche Limit, a critical point of gravity. Earth's gravitational force becomes stronger than the gravity holding the moon. The massive celestial body above us begins to crack and tear. Instead of a direct impact, the moon is ripped completely apart. Trillions of tons of lunar rock shatter in lower Earth orbit. Earth suddenly acquires a beautiful, glowing ring system, just like Saturn. For a brief moment, the sky looks breathtakingly gorgeous and majestic. However, this beautiful ring of rocks is essentially a loaded shotgun. The debris slowly begins to lose altitude due to atmospheric drag. A relentless meteor shower of epic proportions starts bombarding our planet. Cities that survived the floods and earthquakes are now pounded relentlessly. Millions of meteors burn up, superheating the atmosphere to extreme levels. The oceans begin to literally boil away into thick, hot steam. Any remaining forests erupt into spontaneous, unstoppable global firestorms and ash. The surface of our home world is sterilized by pure heat. Even bacteria, struggling in the deepest oceans, are completely wiped out. Those hiding in bunkers realize they are trapped in a furnace. Earth is now just a molten rock surrounded by shiny rings. But surprisingly, this apocalyptic scenario is not the end of Earth. Over millions of years, the meteor bombardment will gradually slow down. The thick atmosphere of steam and ash will eventually cool down. Massive storms will bring millions of years of continuous, heavy rain. New oceans will form, covering the scarred crust of our planet. The rings will eventually clump together, creating multiple tiny new moons. Life somehow might spark again in these new, nutrient-rich, warm oceans. Evolution would begin an entirely new chapter on a transformed world. Perhaps strange new creatures will eventually walk on this alien surface. They will look up at a night sky with multiple moons. They will never know the great empire of humanity that existed. But why would the moon suddenly decide to fall towards Earth? Physics dictates that the moon is actually slowly drifting away currently. It moves about 4 centimeters further into space every single year. To make it fall, something incredibly massive would have to hit. A rogue black hole passing by could also disrupt its orbit. If a microscopic black hole hit the moon, it would slow. Losing orbital velocity is what causes an object to fall inwards. Could humanity somehow stop the moon from falling if this happened? We would need an unprecedented amount of energy to push it. All nuclear weapons on Earth combined would barely scratch its surface. We simply do not possess us the technology to move celestial bodies. Our only option would be to build self-sustaining, deep underground habitats. Even then, the boiling oceans and shifting crust might crush them. The reality is, the universe is terrifyingly hostile to biological life. We are perfectly safe today, sitting in our comfortable little homes. But cosmic events operate on a scale we cannot fully comprehend. This thought experiment reminds us how fragile our beautiful planet is. It shows us that everything we value depends on orbital stability. Our economy, our struggles, our daily routines are cosmically very insignificant. If the moon falls, your bank account balance absolutely stops mattering. The only thing left would be the raw mechanics of physics. Gravity always wins, no matter how advanced human civilization thinks it is. So next time you look up at the beautiful night sky, appreciate that the moon is staying right where it belongs today. Our silent guardian, maintaining the tides and keeping our planet steady. Let us hope it continues its slow drift away from us, because the alternative is a fiery, spectacular, and absolute total destruction. Thank you for joining this terrifying dive into theoretical planetary astrophysics. Stay curious, stay grounded, and always respect the power of gravity.